Welcome, everyone, and welcome back. Happy 2025. We made it. Now it's 2025. I hope everyone had a great break or a safe everything and ready to tackle this 2025 or to enjoy or to continue being you. Welcome back and welcome to Be Extra Knitting. It's a knitting podcast by me, Stephanos. And I might do something here. Um, First of all, I never ask people to subscribe or anything because that is not my goal in having this podcast. And if you have watched my episodes before, I never ask or I never have a line saying subscribe, click, blah, 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 comment. You can do whatever. You can come back without subscribing. Perfect. If you find anything helpful in from this knitting podcast for knitting related or anything, perfect. Or if you have any questions, let me know. And I do have a question that I need to answer in this episode. But I was saying, yeah, I never getting a subscriber or subscribers is not my goal. So since my holiday trip, I have met a few or a couple of people throughout my trip, and some of them are knitting related new people in my life. So maybe it's a good time to reiterate what this channel and how this channel was started. So I started this channel a year ago, a year and whatever, 6 days or 5 days. No, a year and 3 months, let's say, because I started October 2023. Yeah, right. So the reason I started it is because when I started knitting, I did not know that all knitting pattern is written with the assumption that knitters are right-handed progressing hand knitting style or right-handed knitter. Right-handed knitter here means that your progressing hand is your right hand. If you're knitting at the moment, look at your knitting. Which hand is making a new stitch or the new stitches? If it is your right hand, then you are a right-handed knitter and you are knitting the regular way or the way that is accepted, by the community or the standard, I would say. So when somebody writes a pattern, they don't need to state that the pattern is written for a right-handed knitter because the standard way of knitting is with your right hand as the progressing hand. However, I am a knitter with my left hand as my progressing hand. So my left hand is the one that is making the new stitches. So if you look at me while I'm knitting, you will think that I'm thinking or I'm correcting my stitches. In fact, I am actually knitting the regular way. I'm progressing forward. So when when I started knitting early in the pandemic era in 2020, I did not know that. I downloaded some patterns and then I started trying to make a sweater, raglan sweater. So you know how raglan, you have an increase on your shoulder area or this yoke area, and then a lot of time the increase will specify make one right, make one left, and and if you are using the standard way of knitting, it will come out the way it was written. However, when I was using the pattern, I started noticing this doesn't make sense as I'm progressing with my left hand, so especially when I started working on lace pattern. That's when I realized lace pattern that is not symmetrical, meaning that if you work it from right to left, which is the standard way of knitting, it will be different than if you're working it from left to right. That's when I started realizing, oh, I cannot just follow pattern, standard pattern, word per word. I have to convert the knitting pattern, published knitting pattern, into a left-handed progressing hand style. That's when I know I wish, or that's when I thought, I wish there is somewhere a resource somewhere that have that mention that, or just acknowledge that instead of making assumption. um and but it's not a problem for me. I started converting any pattern, and I realized if a pattern is the product is symmetrical, let's say a square with really symmetrical pattern or color work, or just a regular uh, what do you call knit stitch, it's fine. I don't really need to convert it. I can just directly work on it. However, when the product is really asymmetrical, or um, a complicated lace that is different if you work it from the right to left, or complicated color work if that is different if you work it from right to left, that's when a little bit more work or pre-work before I can use the pattern. Now, another thing why I started this why I started this channel is when I also started knitting, I ran into the YouTube channel of Arna and Carlos, and I found their channel to be, and their website to be, really full of resources. So for example, I really used their technique for steeking, because they had a step-by-step of making a sweater from the beginning and then steek it at the end. And then also their website had like they documented how they made that. So I found that, okay, actually, this community can be helpful when you started sharing things that you know you think is um not easy, but uh basic, that you think that everyone knows, but a lot of people might not know, especially when they started knitting. Also, when they're already advanced knitter and they want to start something new, um, YouTube is a great way to figure things out. And of course, there are a lot of videos where people, what do you call, like a tutorial, make tutorial videos. So with all those reasons, I decided to make this channel. Now, this channel is not really a tutorial channel, even though my initial thought was to help people who might want to start initially to knit and figure out that they're not using a standard way of knitting, meaning they might be like me, using their left hand as a progressing hand, or just give ideas for people. Okay, what else people can pick up in terms of knitting skills. And also, when I started this knitting, it's not really a serious knitting channel. And I mentioned I'm not trying to get subscribers. It's fine if people just come back without subscribing to watch, because I found that us knitters, we um, spend a lot of downtime with knitting, but knitting is something that you can do anywhere. with people, without people, by yourself, or with a group. And if you're by yourself and you want to do something else while you're knitting, for example, reading from an audiobook or following some podcasts. So, this could be another um, option for people to consume. Another thing is, the more I am involved with this community, I found that diversity or representation matters. A lot of time I go to, knitting store, yarn store, knitting convention, or yarn, like Rhineback and everything. I hear, receive, or absorb a lot of comments that that is gender related, which I don't see why that has to be commented. For example, oh, did you knit this sweater? Yeah. Oh, you know for example, the I think one comment was, how come the stitch are very uniform? It's like, oh, do you expect this not to be uniform if it's coming from me? Or I don't know how to answer these things. Or it's or you or I walk into a yarn store and then I receive comments, oh, there are more male knitters nowadays. um it used to be just women, and now not even younger women, there are also even male knitting. I don't know how to reply on those comments. Sometimes I just play stupid. I just smile and not say anything, and if I still can take it, I can just be smiling and act like I'm stupid, meaning that I'm not able to reply to this comment because I just don't see why. I don't see why these comments need to be uh, um, shared. If people are gatekeeping in knitting, tell me why. Why do we need to gatekeep of knitting? Why does it have to be a specific um, group that should be knitting? If I welcome people to read the history of knitting in terms of the gender, like which gender started knitting. I welcome people. There are books out there. I don't need to spend my time. I think I have discussed this before in a lot of episodes. Yeah, go to museums, fabric museum, knitting museum, see where it came from, where it started. What is the oldest known fabric, knitted fabric out there, and which country it came from. It might surprise you. It might surprise you. So, so that's another reason why I started this channel, because you see me, I'm not first. I have a mustache. I have a certain skin color. I have a certain size. Representation matter. So if people that have an intersection background or look or whatever it is to me, look at me, oh, okay, so I see it's not just a certain group of people that knit, then it's a good resource. Like, what have you made, like, and how do you make your stuff? So that's why I make this channel. And I keep this thing pretty casual. It's nothing serious. If I think I want to share something important, I definitely will. But again, I never will schedule things. This could be every other week. This could be every 3 weeks. Again, I'm not trying to get YouTube followers. It's not. It's just as long as people can find this as resourceful in any way, that will be perfect. And that, I think, okay, so the first 15 minutes is an introduction of what this channel is about. And this bring us to the next topic. So the next topic is, I received a question in one of the previous episodes saying, I guess another person is also like me. That person is a left-handed knitter, basically, again, a left hand as their progressing hand. And the question is, how do you convert a pattern for circular needle into a pattern for circular needle that is written for standard knitting style, meaning right hand knitter, into a two straight needles for left-handed person. Okay, so I'll try to answer these questions. I don't have any material to share, but I will just do this orally. First thing, it depends on the pattern or the product that you are working on. Now, there's a reason why a pattern asks you to use a circular needle. Usually, you need to use a circular needle because you're making a circular product. So, for example, sweater, socks, hats, gloves. So you work it in the round. Okay, so that is one reason why a pattern asks you to use a circular needle. Now, there's also another type of some products that or pattern that require you to use a circular needle, but not really working it in a round. But they ask you to use a circular needle because you might be working or trying to make something that is really huge, so that a circular needle or interchangeable needle, you can choose the length of your cable, so that if trying to make, let's say, 120-inch shawl, like wide, 120-inch wide shawl, then it is possible to just work it with a circular needle that is having a really long cable, but you work that flat, not in a round. So the first question that you need to check is, what is the product? Is the product a circular being worked on in the round, or is it a flat? Right. So now, let's say your pattern is for project that is worked in the round. So my question will be, well, if you want to convert that into just two straight needles, it will not be possible. Okay? Doesn't matter if you work it using your right hand or your left hand progressing hand. The thing is, to make a round product or work in a round using a straight needle, you need to use at least 3 needles instead of 2 needles, because your question is, how do I convert it from a circular needle into a 2 needle and then work it using a left hand? So if the product is a circular, then you need to have at least 3 needles, and also you need to use 3 double pointed needle, meaning that both ends will be used to knit. So instead of just a long needle with one end as a closed end and the other end is the one that you use to knit, you need to use a DPN, or a double pointed needle, or people are calling it a DPN, double pointed needle. Now you also can use all the way so 3 needles all the way up to 5 needles. The most used amount of needles for DPN. But really, again, if you want to use more than that, if you make something really huge, again, I don't know what, but some circular product that is really huge, then use however many double pointed needles you need to use. if you don't have the circular needle with long enough cable. So that's the first answer. Um, determine if your product is work in a round or a flat. Now, if your product is work flat, the answer will be yes. As long as your needle is long enough for the final product, you can convert from the circular needle that is work flat into a uh, two straight needle knitting. Now, how do you convert that into a left-handed knitting? That part I have discussed previously in some episodes. I will just make link either on this video or in the comments, not in the description section, the video description section. I will link back into that video. So basically, that one is another thing that you need to figure out. Are you making color work? Are you making lace? Are you making just regular stockinette, or are you making ribbings, or are you so what kind of knitting style that the pattern is telling you? Now, if it is, let's say, uh, if it is, let's say, color. Okay, let me backtrack. Either way, either one of the styles, you just need to know if you're using your left hand as your progressing hand. If there's a diagram, you need to read it from left to right, because the standard way of knitting, if you look at a regular pattern, you will see the numbers coming from right to left, like 1 is on the right, 2, 3, 4, and going to the left. That's because in standard way of knitting, you knit from right to left, but then if you're knitting from with your left hand, it's from left to right. So that's the basic idea. You just, if you're following a pattern to convert it, just read it from left to right. If there's a diagram, or right. Now, if it is a written pattern, that's when it's getting a little bit complicated. You have to be able to see it in your mind, each sentence, what the product is going to be. For example, if it says make stitch 5, make 1 left, stitch 3. Now, imagine that coming from right to left. So if you say stitch 5, but it's coming from right, and then make 1 left and then stitch 3, reverse that. So if you're coming from the left, it will be stitch 3, make 1 left, and stitch 5. Now, notice I say make 1 left both for right hand and left hand. However, let me give you another tips. Make 1 left for right-handed knitter is different than make 1 left for left-handed knitter. This is one thing that really a big revelation to me when I started knitting. When I just follow, for example, if you're a regular knitter, a right-handed knitter, you make 1 left. If I follow the line-to-line instruction of making 1 left, I will end up with making 1 right if I use my left hand. So making 1 left, just a simple instruction, make 1 left for right-hand knitter is different than make 1 left for left-hand knitter. So this is my left hand. If you make 1 left, you are going basically making the increase slanting that direction. So if you're going from the right, there's one way to do that. However, if you're going from the left, there's the different way to make it to the left. So that's a general idea about how to convert things. So to answer your question, first, again, figure out if it's in round or flat. If it's in the round, you need three, at least three or more. If it's flat, yes, you can do it. The second one, if it's in the flat, um, or even if it's in the round, figure out what type of knitting it is, and if there's a diagram, so then you can just when you read a diagram, you go from left to right instead of right to left. On the third one, if there's no diagram, if it is a written pattern or written out instruction, you have to imagine in your mind what is the final product that they're asking you to do, and then convert that line per line. I hope this is helpful. If you have more questions, and if you have any ideas, let's say, hey, can you do a knit along where we take a pattern and for written for standard way of knitting and then knit it the left-handed way? Let me know. It could be a good knit along, because I haven't seen that kind of knit along before, and I'm pretty sure that knit along will be really useful for people who really want to use standard pattern out there, but there might not be having a standard way of knitting. So let me know if that is something interesting. I can choose a pattern and then we knit, and then I can start like a chat group somewhere. So if there's any questions, people can help out, and I can figure out, or maybe like in some episode I will show how to do things or how to convert things. So I think that's a good idea. All right, so so this is 10 o'clock, January 5th, Sunday. I need to go somewhere, so it's not gonna be a long episode anyway, because if you go back to the previous videos of this channel, I actually did every week of December as my vlogmas, but my vlogmas was a weekly vlogmas. So basically I stitched videos of each day of the week, and then published it. And I some weeks were really short because I was traveling, so I cannot really sit and talk, or so it was mainly just some videos of how I celebrate the end of the year with traveling, family, knitting, and how those activities help me in enjoying the time. So it's nothing about showing off, like, oh, I went here. No, it's more about um how can one enjoy life with what is available around, and also showing people the places that I like, fiber related places that I ran into during my trip. Anyway, so that was weekly. So I already had updates on things that I work on. And before I go now, I can share one finished object. Ooh, coffee. So this finished object, it was unplanned. So if you go back to the week 4 of the vlogmas, you will see right before New Year, so 31st December, I went to Nitty City in New York just to say hi to Nancy Ritchie and people in Nitty City, because I used to go to Nitty City to sit and knit with the male knitters, but then things got really busy and I haven't been back. And just before the end of the year, I just want to say hi, wish everyone a healthy new year and all that. So said hi to Nancy, and the Nitty City staff, owners, uh, and I finally picked up a raffia yarn. Oh, the yarn is in the yarn drawer, but anyway, I finished it anyway, so I can show you the product. And there was a bag as an example of, sample knitted sample in the store, and I'm like, oh yeah, I just told Nancy I'll make something like that, and Nancy said, oh, Zach, the owner, said that you can just get the pattern from us, we'll print it out for you. So I picked up 4 round of, so ISP, I think. Yeah. Come on, I already prepared this. Anyway, it's oh, it's right there. Yeah, ISP raffia authentic plant fiber, 100% rayon. 250 meters. So this guy, ISP, and I wanted to make exactly like what they have. It was knitted or crochet. It's a crochet pattern. It's crochet in black color, but they don't have 4 rounds, 4 skeins of the black, but there's gray or elephant gray colors. So I decided to make, one side black, one side gray, and here it is. Yeah, so it is a mesh toed crochet bag, mesh toed crochet bag, where oh, this is good. Oh, this could be the picture. the front picture. Oh, it could be like one of those advertisement, like a watch advertisement, right? Yeah. Fossil, if you're watching, please subscribe. Okay, like this. So the Fossil bag. Anyway, so this is the bag. So one side is elephant gray. Oh, I feel like I'm in QVC. So this one, the color is gray, elephant, trunk, whatever. How many more do we have? Oh, 300 more. Oh, it's going really fast. The elephant is going. Oh, it's only 50 more. If you want it, call the number, right? Oh, elephant is gone. Now we only have black. Oh, black is gone too. All right, thank you. I love QVC. I should sell something in QVC. Anyway, this is, I don't know if it's a free pattern, but I got it. They print me the pattern. But it's really easy. It's just double chain. So you make 2 sides, front and back, double chain, and then you make 1 long strip, and this one is single chain, and then you make this what do you call this thing? Straps, and then you make this decoration, like, so that if you put it on your shoulder, it's not really, it doesn't hurt you so much. There you go. Oh, this is so good. Yeah. And because this is, what do you call this thing? Because this is crochet, it's really open. I wanted to line it, but then, oh my god, this is so good. It's so. Oh, another thing why I wanted to make this. So I went to Milan last summer, and then Prada has this bag. I did not even check how much they cost. Exactly like this, but of course they put like a big triangle here that says Prada, and then like sell it. Like, come on, I made this in 2 days, and I made it in 2 days after while running around the city. I'll go over this. Like, this is just a subway ride thing, you know. So again, yeah, um, yeah, it's so fast. So this is 16-inch height and maybe 15 point something width, wide. Now, because this is open, I decided initially to make lining, but I'm like, come on, Stephanus, that's so wasteful just to buy more fabric just to make a tote, another tote inside a tote. Like, I have so many totes lying around the house. Like, like nowadays you cannot bring plastic, to grocery store. They always give you totes, or you bring your totes and people throw you totes at your face. So one of them, I already have this. This is like one of those, what is this, like jute type of bag. I think this is from Muji, New York City. It's nothing, no design. It's like a $2 thing. Like, one day I went shopping and I was like, okay, I'll get that tote. So, and this fits perfectly, as you can see here. This is a 16-inch tote by, I think it's by 14 or something. It's not as tall, and that fits perfectly there. And I'm not gonna stitch it. I'll just leave it. As you can see here, there's a handle that you can see, and I don't care, like, you see it because the light is really shining on it. But if, again, like this, yeah, right. And another thing, like, okay, Stephanus, like, then why do you have two totes and just use it for one? All right, good feedback. Thank you for your feedback. I'll answer that too. No one asked that question. It's just me. Yeah. So, yes, two totes became one. But then, because I did not stitch it down, let's say I go shopping and then I need two bags, then I can just simply take it out. Just take it out. Et voila! Two bags. See? Isn't that smart? No, it's not. I mean, it's okay. And another thing, if you don't want that as your tote, like, what do you have? Like, what is this one? This one, oh. Oh yeah, right. So if you have a tote that you're not too proud of, just put it inside. No one will see what that tote is, and you can still use it. See, you're not too proud of that tote. Now no one will see it, and still, two tote in one. Anyway, this is my first finish of 2025. You see how cute that is? It's actually like making a V. The pattern is actually called Rookie's V-shape mash. Initially, I never understand why do they call it a V, and then I saw this. I'm like, oh, because this is a square. I'm like, why don't you call it a square tote? But the mash is a V. Okay. All right. Season 17 has started. RuPaul's Drag Race, that's what it is. Season 17. Who is your favorite? Let me know. Comment down below, as they said it. I think I love right away Susie Toots. Why? 1920s girl. I mean, and now I'll be demonstrating what they call the Gettysburg Address in Morse code. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's this show called RuPaul's Drag Race. It's all about drag queen competing with each other to win $200,000, and used to be a lifetime supply of Anastasia Beverly Hills cosmetic. I think now it's just a year or whatever. It's fun. It's it's stupid. It's fantastic. It is not taking life too seriously, yet saving lives. Hmm. Um, I don't think I have anything else. I still am working on my Scotland Yard vest. I'm not gonna show that because I've been showing it throughout my journey. I'm sure people who follow me, I'm sure they're like, Stephanos, finish that before you show it next time. I say, okay. Thank you for the feedback again. Again, no one said that, but I'm sure people are thinking about that. Like, okay, I'll finish it before I show it next time. By the way, am I a crocheter? Um, I discussed about crocheting in my Instagram live. My Instagram knitting Instagram is beextraknitting, so go there and you will learn about crocheting and me. What I'm saying is, I mean, it hurt my hand because raffia and this is 5.5 millimeter. I'm like, ugh. But I love it. Do I want to make more purse like this? Because I mean, it's so fashionable. No, well, I need to get rid of this. I need to uh, what do you call this? Hide the end kind of thing. I mean, or snip it. You know what? I'll do it now. Like, am I a crocheter? No. I mean, you can just call yourself a crocheter knitter even if you just make a gauge, right? But what I'm saying is, am I gonna crochet more? I think that's the perfect question. I think so. By the way, one of these, anyway, um, this is raffia. Back home in Indonesia, we have this everywhere. I would not pay that much as I had paid here if I were back home because we have it everywhere. But here, okay, it's nothing. But again, the color is perfect. I love it. I love it. But what I'm saying is, it is affordable. Of course, it's subjective. Affordable is subjective. What I'm saying is, compared to wool, this is more affordable, and you can make something practical in less than a week. You know, and this is gonna be practical. Look, two bag in one, and it's fashionable. Why not? So, will I crochet more? Yes. Yes. I mean, what crochet needle I have? Just these two. I think this will be enough. One is 4.5, one is 3.75, or 5.5 and 3.75 millimeter. What can I make with that? Bags. Okay. Any more questions? Okay, I'm getting hungry. I think that's why it's getting more attitude now. So I'm going to eat. I haven't eaten my breakfast. It's right here. It's toast with raspberry uh, jam. Until then, oh no, I should do like the the fossil um, product advertisement. Until then, and then it's like I'm a little bit like I have a headache. Or is it a fossil or is a Ferragamo um, glasses advertisement? Oh yes, yes. Until then, be extra, be brave, knit, crochet what you want, but love it. Uh, are you still stuck with a mystery knit along from last year or 4 years ago? What is happening? Do you like it? Do you love it? Work on something that you love, okay? What's that? You don't know what to do with your advent yarn? We'll figure it out. I said, knit what you love, crochet what you love, okay? I'm just kidding. People can do whatever. But just be positive. This is fun. Making things fun. Don't be, oh my god, the arm is so short. Like, enjoy it. It's yours. Oh my god, that pattern's arm is always so skinny. Then modify it. Be brave. Did he not tell you just to do exactly that? It's a suggestion. This is why no one is following me, which is fine. With the target of not having a subscriber, you can be brave. Brave, yeah? All right, bye.